Welcome back to another edition of The Gifted Leader. Today, I'd like to talk about emotional intelligence. How does emotional intelligence relate to leadership? Well, before we talk about how emotional intelligence relates to leadership, let's talk about emotional intelligence so we have a clear understanding of what that is. There's a thing called the emotional tone scale. And there are a number of different emotions on the tone scale. At the bottom of the emotional tone scale is grief and apathy. So if somebody you know, love, or care about has recently passed or died, your emotional tone on the tone scale is at the bottom of the pit. You're in a dark, scared, lonely place. Nothing good's going on because somebody just died, especially if they're very close to you. At the top of the emotional tone scale is a thing called enthusiasm, or an emotion called enthusiasm. Now, if you had won the lottery, then you're in upper enthusiasm. Psychologists have worked out this tone scale over the years, and there's all kinds of stops in between grief and enthusiasm. What you need to understand is that in these different stops, which are all different emotional levels, people are in different places. So, for example, you could be above grief and apathy, and you could be in covert hostility, or you could be in antagonism. You could move up a little bit to be at the middle of the tone scale and be in a place called boredom. You could be above boredom and you could be in conservatism, or maybe strong interest. So you can see on this tone scale, there's a bottom and there's a top, and there's a bunch of places in the middle. So before we talk about how it affects leadership and how to use it in leadership, I'd like you to understand how to get somebody around in the emotional tone scale. And when I say around in the emotional tone scale, I'm talking about how to move them. So if somebody, and in leadership, and I've used this to great success on many occasions, if somebody is angry and you're in enthusiasm, you can't communicate with them. If you're in enthusiasm and somebody's in death, if they're at the bottom side of that tone scale, emotional tone scale, you can't communicate because you're just too flippin' happy for them to keep up with your emotions, and they're not peppy or excited about anything. Somebody just died. But the example I was talking about with anger, I had somebody, a client, that was very angry. So I went right to angry with them. I want to be clear. I went to angry with them, not at them. And I said things like, you know what? If I was you, I'd be upset too. You've got every right to be upset. Holy cow, I can't believe this happened. I got angry with them. And once I got angry with them, they could feel the connection. And then from that connection, I was able to move them up the tone scale, even into boredom. And once I got them up to boredom and out of anger, I could communicate with them. I could get resolution for the problem, and I could solve the problem and to their level of happiness or satisfaction. So this is going to be one of two videos. This one, I just want to explain to you the emotional tone scale and how that when you use that emotional tone scale, you can take somebody up or down, and you obviously your goal is always to take them up. But to move them, you have to go to where they're at and then start moving them up the tone scale. In my next video, I'm going to explain to you and share some simple techniques that you can do to get to where they're at. And then once you're there, you can move them up that tone scale to be able to lead for better results faster and easier. And more importantly, you're going to build powerful and trusting, long-lasting relationships because they're going to feel heard and understood. And once you have them to that place, it's a powerful, powerful thing. So enjoy this. I hope you get some value out of it, and I'll see you for the next video, which is going to wrap this video up. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.